You're listening to Strange by Nature, your guide to the strange, weird, unbelievable, and improbable wonders of the natural world.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here today. I am Kirk Mona, and I am joined today by Rachel Ginza and Victoria Thompson. We are all professional naturalists who together have scoured the world for weird and wonderful wonders just to please your mammalian brain's desire for novelty. Isn't that nice? Let's do this.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. So I'm going to just jump right in, Kirk, okay?
Awesome. Let's do it.
Oh, excellent. I've noticed recently on the show that we've been talking about spiders pretty frequently, more than we have in the past. Like I went through, so for those of you who don't know, we keep a track of all of the topics that we've discussed, and I was double checking. There's so many. I knew we hadn't talked about this one, but I was like triple checking, and I looked, and we've talked about spiders in some way, shape, or form in 11 of our now 100, or at that point 146 episodes. We've talked about spiders.
This is 147. So
this is 147.
Make it 12.
We're gonna make it 12 today. Yeah.
Awesome.
And maybe it's been more on our brain because of the inaccurate spiders that are displayed during spooky season. So we covered them a little bit more.
Sure. That's fair.
But that's just how it is sometimes. But today, I'm talking about another spider. So just recently, either you or Victoria talked about pirate spiders.
Oh, the pirate spiders. That was so fun.
That was very fun. I can't quite remember which one of you talked about this. Do you know?
Our brains just sort of meld together at some point. I think it was Victoria.
Okay, well, I'm
going to give her credit either way. Shout out to Victoria.
Thanks, Victoria. So pirate spiders, as a refresher, they're spiders that eat other spiders. They're really cool. If you haven't listened to that episode, you absolutely should. And it's not surprising that there are spiders that eat other spiders, but the group of spiders that I've got today is one of the spiders that eat other spiders. So, Victoria, you inspired this in a tangential way. Thank you. So Let's imagine going back to Victoria's imagery that she had, since we have now established that it was Victoria, from the few episodes ago. You're a spider in Madagascar. Okay, so really nice.
Okay.
You're hanging out on your carefully created web. It's a new web. You've been working on it. You've been scuttling. It's a new web space for you too. You've been scuttling up through the leaves in the forest where you have been using your silk to anchor yourself from spot to spot as you moved around. It's getting pretty late at night though, so you decide that it's time to go to sleep. So you go to a little corner and you rest. But little did you know, an assassin awaits.
Dun, dun, dun.
So as you go to rest, another spider, the spider I'm talking about today, goes for the kill. They take two specialized elongated pincers called chelicerae, which swing away from the body and stab into you. You go to fight back, but you're held away from the attacking spider as they pump venom into you to kill you.
I mean, it's not great. It doesn't have quite the stealthy showmanship that Victoria's pirate spiders had, but
no, not at all.
Yikes.
Little did you know that this spider waited for hours to get you.
Oh, did
wild.
It? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely wild. But did you notice anything weird in that description at all, Kirk?
Nothing really jumped out at me as especially strange.
Okay. Did you clock that I said that the pincers swung away from the body to stab you?
I did, but I thought maybe they swung away and then came back in. I was like, well, that was a strange turn of phrase that Rachel used, but I was just gonna just let it go right on by, figuring, but there's something to that, huh?
There is. It is a purposeful statement. So
interesting.
This is a
Tell me
method. This is a method of active hunting of 26 different species of spider, which are known as assassin spiders, also known as...
Wonderful name.
Right? They're also known as pelican spiders.
Okay, that was not what I was expecting.
Good.
Why?
Oh,
Why are they called
we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
Okay, I hope so.
These spiders date back 165 million years, and of those 165 million years, 18 were just described in 2018. So of those 26, 18 were just described.
Oh, okay. Of the 26
known species.
Gotcha.
Yeah, which is wild. But Kirk, they look like pelicans in spider form.
Okay, hold on.
Look up a picture, Kirk. It's on our Instagram. So they're Pelican Spider.
What on earth, Rachel? This is the dumbest looking spider.
Isn't it so stupid?
I don't even know what to do with this. It also looks like if a child was drawing a turkey. There's one that definitely looks like a turkey, like a Thanksgiving turkey with like the round butt and the big tail feathers all splayed out, which are actually its legs. And then oh my, what?
I know.
On earth. One of these looks rather adult. That's all I'll say about that. Little NSFW. Wow. This is...
It's so dumb looking. It's so great.
I don't know how to say anything but this is a really dumb looking spider.
No, it is.
I mean, it's awesome, but it's so derpy.
It honestly, like, they call them pelican spiders.
A cartoon chicken.
Truly look like if you took a pelican or a cartoon turkey and you turned that shape into a spider. So,
oh my, I encourage listeners to check out our Instagram, but this one, wow, this is so bizarre. Oh my gosh, I can't get over this.
It's great. So, to describe to everybody what is going on here, they have, like every other spider, they have an abdomen and they have a cephalothorax. So a cephalothorax is a thorax and head smushed together because spiders only have two main body parts like that.
Two body parts, yeah.
This one, the cephalothorax is elongated vertically, so up. So rather than just being smushed
like
and
a long
small,
neck almost.
It's a long neck, which is a very similar shape to that of like a pelican or a turkey, with long pincers which go from the top of that cephalothorax down towards the base, which allow them
past the bottom of their body.
Exactly, past the bottom of their body, and the bottom of those pincers are specialized fangs, which are what are injecting the venom. So what they truly do is those elongated pincers, they go out 90 degrees with really, really striking accuracy.
Okay.
And stab in.
To the side?
No, forward.
Oh, forward. Okay.
So they don't go off to the side. When I was saying they
spread,
swing,
I was picturing out to the side, and I'm like, how does that work? So they're like,
no, they
they go
swing
up and then
forward,
kind of striking down.
Kind of like, to help picture this, it's kind of like a trash can lid. Like it goes from flat to out. It's that 90-degree turn. Yeah.
Like a trap door is kind of springing open.
Exactly.
They seem to be decurved back toward the body, so they must be springing them up and then whacking down on things.
Yes. but also
Jeez,
they are
terrifying.
curved in at the bottom because the mouth is at the bottom of the cephalothorax.
Yeah, they're pulling it. They're pulling
They're
it in. toward the
pulling it
mouth.
in towards the mouth.
Oh, this is nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
If this
Which
was,
it
if
allows
this was
them
the
to
size of, like,
strike at a distance and keeps
a
them
pony
safe.
or something. God.
Oh, absolutely. Because, like, they're able to strike at a distance, their prey, and then keep it away from them so it can't hurt them or fight back.
Yeah.
And then once it's
Oh.
dead, can bring it in for a nice little snack.
Snacky snack. Yeah. Jeez. This is. These are both goofy and terrifying at the same time.
Absolutely. Now that you've said that, Kirk, do you think we should be worried about these assassin spiders?
I'm gonna guess that they are like a millimeter tall or something, just absolutely tiny.
Oh, they're
right?
teeny tiny. They're so small.
How do I know?
Generally speaking, the largest one out there is a centimeter in body length and a centimeter tall.
Okay.
That's the largest one out there. Most of them are even smaller than that. So we don't really have to worry about them or anything.
No,
but
I think we're safe.
they're
Well,
still
I will say though, the
wild.
size of the spider, does not necessarily have anything to do with how potent its venom would be
Oh,
if it were
absolutely.
to envenomate a human. A black widow is quite small,
That's
and
true.
you really don't want to be bitten by one. So I don't live in Madagascar though, so I'm feeling pretty solid on this one.
And I didn't see anything about them being harmful to humans or anything, but I didn't look too much
Probably
into
not
that
their main
fact.
prey, right?
No. But they're not just in Madagascar. Since they date back so far, 65 million years, they're not just in Madagascar. They're mostly in Madagascar.
Where are they?
Australia and South Africa as
course.
well.
Shout out
We
to
have-
Australia. Once
Australia
again.
has to have the weirdest critters
Of
out
course,
there.
there's pelican spiders in Australia.
Of course
come
there
on.
is. Why not? So
They would protest if they didn't have them, I think.
so anyway, my sources this week were an article in the Smithsonian by Jennifer Michalowski and a Live Science article by Brandon Spector. And also, just because it's awesome, we love women scientists, the person who was discovering and categorizing the 26 species and discovered the 18 new species was Professor Hannah Wood of the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History. So she was going through different spider, like not live spiders, she was going through all of the ones that had already been collected, which is
Gotcha.
amazing and tedious. Go
Oh,
Hannah.
yeah. Especially when they're tiny. Yeah, good job.
Yeah. So that's what I have for you this week. Pelican spiders.
That is, wow. Stunning.
You're welcome. All right, so we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, Kirk, you got to have something cool this week.
I think I do.
Awesome.
Welcome back, everybody. As many of our listeners know, we are not just podcasters. We are also professional naturalists. We teach about nature every day for our jobs. And one of the things that I've sort of become, I guess, somewhat known for in the field at this point is story camps that I do with a friend. Yeah, that I do with friend of the show and host of our anniversary quiz shows, Mr. Brett Sieberer. He's listening right now, I'm sure.
So
Hey, Brett.
intrigued. Hey, Brett.
So yeah, where is this going, right? Well, we've
I
presented.
wanna know.
The two of us have actually presented nationally about our concept, and actually just did a local presentation a few weeks back to other naturalists at our local statewide conference. Rachel, you
Yeah.
were there at our presentation. You
I
even
was.
helped make some of the magic occur, which was much appreciated since we were at your
Anytime.
home site. The core of what we were presenting was this idea of how stories unfold and how to have kids become part of a story and get caught up in it. And when Brett started these camps, he was doing it all just by instinct, having consumed lots of media over the course of his life. But we found that some camps we were doing, the story elements worked better than others. And I wanted to really know why. So when I stepped back and kind of looked at it, I realized that what we were often doing was having kids reenact part of Joseph Campbell's hero journey.
Right.
right? Now, some people be like, "Oh, I know what that is," and some of you were like, "You've already lost me. What are you talking about?"
Well, I mean,
So
Kirk, I know because you told me a couple weeks ago.
right.
But before you mentioned it, I
People
didn't know either.
people who are like really into like literature and like studying story structure have definitely heard of this before. Even if you've never heard of the hero's journey, which is sort of this framework for stories, you have certainly experienced it. So Harry Potter, The Matrix, The Lion King, Star Wars, Iron Man, Lord of the Rings, these movies and more, and also, those are movies, but also books, they all follow the same sort of hero's journey template that makes the stories work. So many authors use it because as a narrative device, it simply works. Well, we watch movies at our house every Friday night, and we chose V for Vendetta this week.
Oh,
I'm
that's
like
a
halfway
great
through.
one.
I found myself going, "Oh, of course, this is the hero's journey. It actually follows the exact same template as all the other stories." So all of this is a way of saying that the hero's journey has been on my mind a lot as of
Yeah.
late, and my pattern-seeking mammalian brain has been on the lookout for elements of the journey, such as the call to adventure or the refusal where the hero's like, "Oh, no, I can't possibly do that." And then
Right.
the ordeal that they go through. And these things are everywhere in movies and books because they resonate with us, because they occur in real life as well. And I was
Mm-hmm.
reading the news this week, and there it was, something pulled right out of the hero's journey, and rightly so. Our heroes this week are biologists.
Oh, well, of
Yay,
course. I
biologists,
love
right?
that. Go biologists.
Now the setting, Rachel, is both dramatic and amazing. We are headed to the fantastic Galapagos Islands,
Oh,
the very place where Darwin mused over finch beak variation and came up with the theory of evolution. Instead of island
beautiful.
hopping, though, these biologists had heeded the call to adventure and crossed the threshold into the dark depths of the ocean, seeking unknown riches.
Ooh.
Now, they had a clue that something was waiting for them in the salty deep. You see, they were exploring an area called the Galapagos Spreading Zone, and this is an area of the seabed where two tectonic plates are spreading apart. It's
Okay.
about 250 miles north of the islands, actually. I will say the Galapagos Islands, by the way, are formed because of a hotspot of island-creating magma, and that hotspot is the result of this spreading zone. So this whole area is all tied together.
Okay.
And scientists had previously detected hydrothermal vents in the eastern portion of the spreading zone back in 1977. In fact, these were the first hydrothermal vents that were ever discovered in the ocean.
That's so cool.
Now, we've covered hydrothermal vents on the show before a few times because they're just such absolutely strange and
Mhm.
bizarre places. And
Never know what you're going to
biologists-
find.
Yeah, biologists can't get enough. They're like, more, more. There's absolutely, I picture like Kylo Ren, more. That's marine biologists when it comes to, these hydrothermal vents.
Mhm.
So they want to find more of them because every time we do, we discover something new. And just like the Galapagos Islands themselves were critical to understanding evolution, so too do these vents help us understand evolution and biology, as they're essentially like islands of life deep in the ocean. A lot of the ocean's not like all that hospitable. The
Yeah.
water all the way down at the bottom of the ocean is about 2 degrees centigrade. So almost frozen. It's not the greatest place.
Sounds like
but
my
the heat
hometown.
the heat and nutrients of the vents, they attract and support like an amazing variety of life just by the nature of them being there, and they create these little
Mhm.
islands of life. So the ocean is vast. It's super vast. And how do you find a new vent field? There's probably lots we don't know about, right?
Oh,
In the
absolutely.
entire ocean, we think we know of about 550 sites with vents. But half of them are actually inferred locations where we're
Oh,
like
wow.
pretty sure there's probably vents there, but we've never actually looked or been able to visually confirm that they're actually
Mhm.
there. So our hero biologists were investigating the western half of the Galapagos Spreading Center because data suggested there should be a hydrothermal vent there. And
Mhm.
readings of low oxygen levels in the water suggested one was probably present, but they wanted to find the actual location.
Absolutely.
what caught my attention in terms of like the hero's journey is that in many versions, once the hero has crossed the threshold and heeded the call to adventure, they're helped along the way by some sort of supernatural aid that appears from the darkness and lights the way. And this aid is usually the personification of destiny. And it turns out that's exactly what happened to these biologists.
What?
So they were exploring the depths of the area with a submersible because it's not,
We can't
real
go down
great
there,
place
no.
for humans. Right. And so they're kind of watching this deserted bottom of a seafloor on a television, like a live feed coming up from where the submersible is. And they kind of figured they were in the right area based on like the readings they were getting, but it was getting late at night. They hadn't found anything and they were just about ready to, give up for the night and pack it in and go to bed when a ghostly white image appeared on the screen. As you can imagine, it's dark down there. White is not the most common color on the seafloor. I mean, it's probably grays and muted rock colors, right? But here's something white, and it just stood out. There it was, plain as day. First there was one, then a second, followed by more and more and more. What they were seeing was unmistakably crabs. Specifically, the woman who was looking at the screen right away identified them as, and apologies here on this stupid common name, but they're called squat lobsters. Yeah, squat lobsters.
It's such a stupid name. We have such stupid animals this week.
It really is. Now and here's part of why it's stupid, not just because even if they were lobsters, it'd be a stupid
crabs.
name. But they aren't lobsters; they're crabs. So just add this to one of the ever-growing list of animals we have with terrible and confusing common names. Don't put the word lobster in the name if it's not a lobster. I mean, I guess like if you're calling it like a pelican spider, it's pretty clear that it's a spider.
Right.
But a squat lobster, you assume it's a lobster. It's not. All right?
Right.
Now,
what if they hadn't discovered
lobsters,
crabs yet?
I don't know where it came from, Rachel. I just know I don't like it. So squat lobsters, I guess, are known to gather around these vents for warmth and for food. And so seeing increasing numbers of them was very exciting. Like they're like, oh, we're getting close. We just got to follow the I almost said lobsters, the crabs. The researchers said they literally followed the crabs like Hansel and Gretel following breadcrumbs to find the vent. And I laughed when the researcher mentioned Hansel and Gretel, since, as you might have guessed it, Hansel and Gretel's story is indeed a story that follows the hero's journey framework. So it seems even the biologists in the heat of the moment realized they were part of this epic journey, right? And they found the hidden treasure they were looking for and returned home forever changed by the experience.
That's so sick.
They identified where this was, but like that's kind of the end of the story for this chapter, because it's like they haven't fully now done all the research of everything that can be learned there. It's just like, hey, we found it. And that's how far we got. So I think like we're going to have to wait for the sequel to learn about everything cool that's there. Basically.
Fun.
Maybe, hopefully it'll be as epic of a hero's journey. In the meantime, I just want to remind, I guess, all of our listeners that life's a journey and life's an adventure. And you have to heed the call for the adventure to begin, though. So get out there and heed the call to adventure and see what sort of amazing discoveries you can make out there in the natural world. And maybe, if they're strange, we'll talk about them here on the show.
Ooh, absolutely.
I do say my sources for this week was a great article on Live Science by Richard Pilardi. Also data from NOAA and the USGS. I didn't say any of the names of these researchers because none of the materials I looked at said their names, except that it was like a large team of people. There was a big team of people who were working on this. And I know there's a lot of women involved. You mentioned like women scientists. There was definitely a lot of women involved in the crew, like because they mentioned that, but I don't have like a list of names for you, and they probably would be a long list because it sounds like a lot of people from a lot of places were working on this. It wasn't like one little crew out in a little dinghy. It was a big ship and stuff they were looking for. So lots of cool folks involved in this adventure, and just mapping out more of our world and telling us about it, which I love.
Oh, that is so cool. I love that
And finding weird stuff. So
Oh, absolutely. Well, like, I love that we're still finding new things. Like,
absolutely.
I
I mean,
like, we think, I don't know. I always get the impression from, especially members of the public, when I talk to them, that we must know all the
Right.
critters
all
and
figured out.
animals, and
Yeah.
we know everything now. And
no.
we don't. We're
Especially the
still
ocean.
finding things. The ocean, there's still like plants and things that we're finding out. I just
Oh, yeah.
learned that we've barely scratched the surface on how many beetles there are in the world. Insects.
How many times a day do you think about beetles, Rachel? Because I was thinking about beetles just today, actually.
Oh my
'Cause,
gosh.
like,
I
the
think
number of
about
beetles breaks my brain.
Right?
I was actually
think
trying to work
about-
out in my head how many beetles, because this may come up in a future topic. How many? If we did a show just about beetles, how many episodes would the three of us have to do before we ran out of beetles to talk about? And I couldn't
The
do
end
the
of
math in my brain,
time,
but
Kirk.
it's longer than I'm going to be alive. So yeah,
Yeah.
long
Because
time.
there are more beetle species in the world than there are species of anything else on the planet.
Absolutely. Yep, it's a beetle planet,
Yep. We think it's the time of humans. No, it's the time of beetles.
and it has been for a long time.
Yep.
We're just living here. It's their planet. We're just renting space. All right, we'll
just
talk about beetles
love it.
more another time.
Absolutely.
but,
I was just the sense of discovery and adventure,
Yeah,
and the fact that
it's
you
amazing.
can still find things. I love it. Go biologists. I love this for them. I can't wait to find out and learn more.
Keep on learning. That's what it's all about. And hopefully you've all learned something this week. Pretty quick show, but we had some fun stuff to share. And we'll be back next week with more misadventures and weird science.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening,
Yeah.
everyone. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Thanks everyone for listening to today's show. Be sure to subscribe. New episodes drop every Wednesday, and we love sharing this strange world with all of our listeners. If you would be so kind as to leave us a 5-star review, that would be great. It lets other lovers of the strange discover the show. You can reach out to us on social media by searching for Strange by Nature Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can send us an email as well. Our address is contact@strangebynaturepodcast.com. If you want more information about the show, you can also check out our website, which is strangebynaturepodcast.com. Until next week, get outside, stay curious, and embrace the strange.